In this tutorial, we'll be taking a look finally at some graphics. And so I want to build some tile sets and tile maps. So let's start with our just very basic platformer, T01 platformer. And we'll rename that as T15 tile set. And we'll open that up. You could really have started with anything. I just chose a basic platformer. Well, there's no reason. You could choose the top down as well, or any of them. It works the same for pretty much any game you choose. I have over here tile map already picked out. There's lots of tile maps that you can download and stuff, or you can make your own. Totally up to you. This one looks like this, where it's like one graphic or one PNG file with many different tiles incorporated into them. And so what we'll do is we'll go over to our level scene, and we're going to add a child to our level scene, and that is going to be tile map layer. So here's my tile map layer child. And so in the inspector, I'm going to choose tile set, which right now is empty. And we're going to say new tile set. And then now it's new tile set. So we're going to click on that. And that's going to bring up this stuff. This is all fine for now. I'm just going to leave that. And I'm going to come to the bottom panel. And the bottom, I have a few tabs. Tile set and tile map are the ones that I'm going to be taking a look at, and I'm going to click on tile set. And so now I have tile sources. I have nothing in here, so I need to select that. First, I need to bring in that tile map graphic from the file explorer. I drag my tile map into my file system in Godot, and now it's here. And now I can drag it from my file system in Godot into the tile sources. And it says, do you want to automatically create tiles? Sure, we'll say yes. So this, okay, let me just zoom in here. Usually when it automatically creates it, it will do a pretty good job because it kind of detects where the boundaries are. And sometimes you do have to tweak it. So you can see in this case, those faint kind of yellow lines are where it's drawing the tiles. And when you mouse over, you can see like what each tile is, and you can see that it hasn't done a great job of figuring out how big stuff is. And so you'll have to play around with these settings. So the margins are around the outside, the separation is between each tile, and then the texture region is how big each tile is. And so I believe in this case we have a little bit of separation between each. And we also have a slightly bigger than 16 by 16. We actually have 18 by 18. And now when you look at it, each square that I mouse over looks like one of the little pictures. And so this is the correct settings. And so we're done with this. It automatically will slice them up for us. At this point, I can go over to the tile map tab. And now I can select any of these, and then I can paint them onto my scene. And so here we go, and paint them on. If you hold down Shift, you can paint in kind of straight lines. It will give you straight lines. And if you hold Control Shift, it will give you like rectangles. So, whatever you want to do there. Make it look nice. You want some hearts and you want some keys and whatever you want. One thing that I will point out is that right now our player is much bigger than our tiles. The settings are not appropriate for our player. So what we need to do is either change the size of our player or change the size of our tiles. That just happens with scaling. So I can go to my player, go to the inspector, and go to transform. And I can scale it right now 1.0. I can say 0.5, and the player now is smaller, but still the tiles are too small, so I could go even smaller, or I could scale the tiles, and I'll show you how that works. Go to the tile map layer, again, go to transform, and we can scale the tiles up bigger. Let's say 5x, so 5 times bigger. And hey, where did they go? Oh, I guess they disappear. Or are they still here somewhere? Oh, they're down here. Not sure why that happened. In any case, we could just erase those ones down there. I just take my eraser tool and I can just erase those tiles. If you go again, Control Shift, you can erase a big block. And I can draw stuff up here where the game actually is. And so unselect the eraser tool and select my tiles. And there we go. That's very nice, except you can see it's a little fuzzy. If I play this, okay, there's other issues here, but you can see that it's a little fuzzy. We don't want that. And so what we can do is we can go to texture, and that brings up filter. So this is in the inspector of the tile map layer. Texture filter is right now set to inherit. I set that to nearest, and automatically everything sharpens right up. All right, so it's looking pretty good, except the behavior is not quite right, because of course I want the player to be on the grass and not going through the grass. Also, right now it's behind the grass, which is not ideal. I have a bunch of errors here for some reason. I just clear those out. I think that's when I changed the tile set size. It messed it up, so it should be okay now, I think. Okay, to solve the problem of the player going behind the tiles, so say I have like, what do I want to put? Maybe a tree. So I can put a tree, and what I can do is, I don't have to do this one by one. Oh, sorry, I'm in the tile set. I should go to tile map. I could make a tree list just by doing this one by one, like so, but that's a real hassle. What I could do is shift, and then I can select all 3 at once, and then I can build as many trees as I want. And now, if I press play, I'm going behind the trees, which is not what I want. Very easy to fix though. The way that things are rendered in Godot is the order that they are listed here, and the bottom things are rendered last. I want the player to be rendered last so that it's rendered on top of the trees, and so I just drag that below the tile map layer. And now, if we play it, the player will be in front of everything, which is perfect. But we still want it to be standing on the grass and not on this platform underneath. Let's just get rid of that. So we don't really need that anymore. Just put it down here. But the problem, of course, will be that it falls right through and is standing on that platform at the bottom. And so we need it to have collisions with, with the tile map layer. And so what we can do is go to tile map layer and go to our tile set in the inspector and go to physics layer, and we want to add an element, and that's fine there. And so we go back to our tile set, and let's see, we go to paint, and we go to property editor, and now we have physics layer 0. And how this works is, for each tile that I select, this is the collision box. And so if I select, say, this grass, I can collide with the entire grass, or I can go like slightly, I can only collide, say, there. So that means I will go slightly into the grass and so forth. And so you can change that. Maybe I don't want to collide with the ground underneath. Yeah, that's basically how it is. And then I can just select all the grasses, and it will put that same collision part onto the grasses. I would say for platformers, mostly you would just do the whole thing. It's more for top down, where you may want to only have part of the tile colliding. For example, part of the tile is water and part of it is land. You would want collisions on the water part, but not the land part, because you can walk on the land, but you can't walk on the water. So those kind of things, I would say for our purposes, we can just do the whole thing and it's fine. And we can press play now. And now I'm walking on top of the grass. The trees I have not put collisions on so that I can walk over the trees, no collisions. So yeah, you can paint out your scene. You can get rid of these old platforms and stuff now that you have the tile map layers with collisions on. That will replace all of those things. One other thing that I wanted to show you, which is that not all tile maps are in a big sheet like this. Sometimes what you get is individual files. So I showed you how to do it when you have an image file like this, but sometimes what you have, let me navigate to one. Okay, so sometimes what you have is a situation like this, where you have each tile is like its own file. And so how do you deal with that? So let's do a new tile map layer. New tile set. Okay, so what I need to do is bring in those files from over here. And so I can I better bring the whole folder, otherwise it's going to be real messy. So I'm just going to drag that whole thing into my file system. Here it is. And if I open that file, you can see all of the individual things. All right, so I'm going to go to my tile sets down at the bottom here, and tile sources. I'm going to bring in all of this stuff. Tile texture, automatically create tiles. Yes, except I messed it up because this texture region is set to 16 by 16, but our tiles are 32 by 32. And so this is not going to work. I'm just going to do that again. So I'm just going to delete this tile map layer 2. And I'm just going to add it again. How do I know it's 32 by 32, by the way? There's a couple of ways. I can just go to some of the random image, double click on it, and over here I'll say 32 by 32. I could just hover on top of it. It'll also say 32 by 32. And so we have 32 by 32 sprites here. Let me just go to here and make the new tile set again. This time, when I click on tile set, tile size, I'm going to go 32 by 32. And I believe that should bring it in a proper way. And so I'm going to highlight all these again. Just go shift click to select a whole bunch of things at once. Drag it in. Automatically create tiles. Yes, 32 by 32. And now I have the whole thing. Excellent. But of course, if I go to tile map, I don't have the whole palette to select from. And so what I need to do is go back to tile set and go to the 3 dots down here and go to Open Atlas Merging Tool. Click on that. And I want to select everything in here, and I want to merge. It'll ask me for it. Basically, it's changing my file into something that looks like, one of those. And so I can just say whatever it is, industrial tile, save. And I think that's done it. So now I can go to tile map, and there we go. I can draw those things here like so. However I want to do it. Same as before. It works exactly the same now that I've converted it into the appropriate one. All right, so that is it for tile sets. You can go crazy and do what you want with the tile sets. That's all for this tutorial. See you in the next one.